Hey y'all, look at these two. Ozzy's the alpha Cane Corso, and then little Gypsy's the pit bull puppy. Yeah, so they do this thing where they want to just be by me, you know. Hey, Gypsy. They come in while I'm making my tea, and then they act like they want to go outside, so I let them out, and then they just wait for me, like they want to come back inside. Here she goes and does it again. See that? And there's Lucia, Cane Corso puppy. Dolce, the adult, Cane Corso, the dominant female. So, yeah, everybody's waiting for me to come outside for them, or with them. Sorry, I'm just waking up. I'm still a little bit sick from the COVID. Making some tea here. Ooh, y'all. Dolce. Say, you want to go outside and play? Well, I want to teach them, you know, what I've been noticing. Oops. Yeah, what I've been noticing is that mostly in Gypsy, the little pit bull puppy, she's becoming more and more kind of glued to my side. She follows me. Oh, good. They're going to go do their own thing. Look at her looking for me. See what I mean? She was going to go run off and play, but she had to come see where I'm at. Yeah, so I want to try and get her to stop following me around so much. And hi, baby girl. And I need her to be more independent. Independent woman. She's an independent woman. Like Dolce is independent woman. See? She's like, where are you at? I'm not leaving without you. Man, y'all, it's not a good sign. It may, you know, it looks cute and everything, but that just kind of, and if I coddle to that, it enables a separation anxiety. I have to get some, you know, see, look at her looking for me. I'm gonna try my best just to ignore her. I don't want to play into that. I don't want to go comfort her and say, oh yeah, you know, here I am. And so, just a minute, baby. I'm trying to do this with one hand. Dolce, where's that baby girl? And so Lucia is a little bit more independent. Now, I don't know, it may have something to do with the breed. I'm curious if what y'all have with your Cane Corsos. Were they like that? Were they very clingy as a puppy? I guess a lot of it, as always, depends on the individual dog's temperament. But Gypsy. But I do remember, you know, from all of the times I've had a pit bull, they are kind of clingy. They love people. Now Ozzy, he's they're called. Let me back up. I'm like tripping over my words because I haven't had my caffeine yet. But so it's well known that Cane Corso are also called Velcro dogs. Meaning, you know, they like to stick by your side, but that's less so for the reason of them being like codependent, clingy type thing. It's more so because they want to protect you. Now, Gypsy there, she's not being clingy because she's wanting to protect me. I think she's more being a little bit codependent there. So, hi, baby girl. Dolce. Yeah, so I don't like that. I really don't. Oh, I think Dolce's looking at me funny because she's like, why are you talking to yourself? There's nobody there. Who are you talking to? Oh, something wrong with you? put this in the microwave because it's cold already. It's a little bit cold in the house. Yes. But yeah, so Cane Corso, they're clingy in a good way. They're very independent, so they're definitely not codependent in general. But let me know. I'm curious if any of y'all have a Cane Corso that has like separation anxiety and is clingy, kind of like in a codependent way. I'm almost certain pretty much all Cane Corso are protective. They cling to you because they're protective, but no, they do love to be by your side. Cane Corso do love to be by your side, and it's one reason why they make very good family dogs. Now, with the huge caveat that if they're socialized and trained properly, if they're not socialized and trained properly, they can be dangerous in a family setting, because especially with kids. I have a video that I did a few months ago. I think the title was "Why Cane Corsos Are Not Good Family Dogs," and it was just for that reason, that it was the caveat that if they're not socialized properly, they could be dangerous. Yeah, but in general, they make very good protective guard dogs for the family. And get my boots on. And because they're so, they love being around people, they do make good family dogs in that sense. They love to snuggle up on the couch. They love being with their family because their main goal in life, their main job in life, what they were bred to do is to protect their family. Let me open this door. Okay, I'm ready. Hi, Papa. And so yeah, they only make good family dogs if they've been socialized and trained properly. And even with that being said, they shouldn't be left alone with very small children, just because even if they're socialized very well, they could hurt a small child accidentally. Shoot, they could hurt an adult accidentally, and they have. They've hurt me before. Oh, look how green the grass is. That's all natural grass right there. Yeah, we've been having springtime weather. It's like Mother Nature got a little bit confused. That's probably all the sporadic weather that we've been having. Okay. Hi, baby. Okay. Yes, I'm here. So yeah, what I'm gonna do with Gypsy. Oh, did y'all see that? Sorry. Before I go into that, that's Tux there with the black coat and the white paws. I don't know if you can see him. If you're new to the channel, that I didn't get to introduce him. Hi, Papa. Right there. He's a pit bull mix. Very sweet dog. But yeah, I don't know if you caught that right there. Lucia was bumping into him. She does that to me too. She just flings her body around uncontrollably like that, and very carefree. And that's an example of how an accident can happen with small children and with anybody, really. She's knocked my knees out a couple times. She just kind of, when she's playing like this, she's rough, and she'll just fling her body around, and it'll catch me in the side of the knee, and oh man. But Lucia, gentle baby. But yeah, what I'm gonna do with Gypsy, the pity puppy there, I'm going to stop petting her so much. She's so super cute, and I love her to death. So every time I see her, I just want to cuddle her and pet her. That's not doing her any good. She already knows she gets lots of love here, and she's safe here. So I don't need to throw on more petting right now because she's showing signs of being kind of codependent. And that can create some separation anxiety. She's already shown signs of separation anxiety. For example, if I go out to take the trash out, the big trash bin, it's in the garage. So if I go into the garage, if I put my hand on the handle and she's asleep in the bedroom, she'll get up from her sleep and she'll follow me as if she's concerned, as if I'm leaving. It's oh, Dolce's getting her exercise. Yeah. Hey Tux, yeah, I know. It's just one time Tux likes to sneak away and get his lovins. The big dogs are busy. But yeah, so I don't like that. I didn't like her that she's starting to do that. She's starting to follow me around the house and act very concerned if I'm leaving. So yeah, so I think the way to deal with that is just to act normal and don't act overly, like, don't coddle her. Just kind of ignore her a little bit, as counterintuitive as it seems. I don't want to play into her. And y'all saw one of the, I don't know if you saw a recent video where I took her to a Tractor Supply store, just to kind of continue socializing her, and she froze up. Hi, Papa. She's very insecure out in public, so and I had to resist the urge to comfort her because I don't want to praise that kind of behavior. You want to make them feel secure, but in a way that, I think that you can really make a situation worse with a dog if you play into it. Kind of like, when a little kid falls down and bumps their knee and maybe they got a little scratch. If the parent then is like, "Oh, are you okay?" and just acts like it's a huge deal, the little kid is going to probably start crying more, because he thinks the little kid probably thinks, "Oh, this was a big deal. My parent is very concerned." Whereas if the parent just is like, "Oh, oops, you're okay. Come on, let's go over here and do this thing. Come help me do this," or kind of distracts them from it. Then the kid is thinking, "Oh, okay, parent's not concerned. It's not a big deal." So that sort of thing is kind of the way I think to approach a dog like that. Trying to distract her from her insecurities and show her that it's really not a big deal to be out in public. It's not a big deal if I'm going to go take the trash out. But yeah, anyway, look at these 3 girls right there. So, but yeah, all in all, I would say, yes, a Cane Corso would make an excellent family dog. It's just that the family members, especially the young ones, should be, quote unquote, trained. The people should be trained really how to act around a Cane Corso. You don't want to have your kids pulling on the ears, or because naturally kids are closer to the face of a Cane Corso, of the dog, and so when they walk up to a dog, they're in the dog's face. That right there is a dangerous situation, because most dogs do not like anyone in their face. And so so yeah, the if the kid's too young to teach what not to do around a dog, then they should definitely be supervised closely around this breed. It's still a very huge responsibility. As good as a family dog as this can be, it's still a huge responsibility. Other thing is, you know, speaking of families with kids, you know, a lot of times families with kids will have other kids over to play with their kids. So that should definitely be monitored very closely. And just an extra, I think just extra responsibility with this breed all around. You have to really teach the public how to approach your dog, how not to approach your dog. What happens when I take my big dogs out in public, if people try to, you know, a lot of people don't know how to approach a dog. They'll just come right up. They'll see a big dog. They'll see a dog, and they'll just come right up to it and walk into its space and take both hands and, you know, put both hands all over the dog and cuddle, you know. That's the wrong way to approach a dog that you don't know, because the dog didn't invite that person into its space. So what I will do if someone does that, I will quickly step in front of my dog and put a barrier between that person and my dog. And then, you know, I'll just say politely, oh, he's a little bit uneasy with people coming up to him like that. I would say, you know, and try to teach them the right way. Like I would say, you know, just, oh, if you could just put like the back of your hand out and not look at him and kind of invite him to be, you know. Good bird there. Ozzy's like, I don't like it. I don't like it. You don't belong in this airspace. It's my airspace. But yeah, so the question about is a Cane Corso a good family dog? It's a loaded question because it's a yes and no. It depends. It depends on if the dog is well socialized. It depends on the owners. It depends on if the owners are going to teach their kids how to act around the dog. If they're going to monitor the dog around very small children. And that sort of thing. Really depends on if the dog is trained and socialized well, and if the family is trained well. That's the main thing. I would say it's even more of a huge responsibility if it's a first time Cane Corso owner with a family. It's going to be a huge responsibility because families being family, they're busy, you know, especially if you have young kids. You're taking your kids to school, or you're going to all the events that you have to go to, or at homework. You got a busy life, busier than my life, and I consider mine pretty busy just with me. But I think it's just next level when you have kids. The busyness is just on another level. And so for you to add that to your list of responsibilities is to train. It's the huge responsibility of training this massive breed, this very dominant, stubborn breed. That's a huge responsibility. That's a huge tasker, and people do it all the time. People also, I've seen it on the forums that I'm on. Also, it can go wrong, it can go bad very quickly as well. I've seen, these forums where people will say, my Cane Corso is now growling at my son or growling at my wife. Because and most likely what happens when that is the case, only one of the adults is feeding the dog. So the dog identifies one of the parents, one of the spouse member or the members as alpha, and then the other one, when the other one tries to give the dog a command, the dog is like, "You're not the alpha," and then he challenges that person. Extremely dangerous situation. And so that's why it's a little bit different situation. It's a little bit different, a little bit more work when you have this powerful breed, dominant breed, because you have to train all the adults in the house. It sounds funny, you know, have to train the adults. You have to teach all the adults in the house to communicate to the Cane Corso, or the dominant breed, that they're all alpha, that they all have command of the pack. They all have to be, you know, the so-called, you know, pack leaders to the dog. So for that to be communicated, the one way is just for each of the adults to feed the dogs. Don't just have one adult in the household feeding the dog. The one who holds the food is usually the alpha. So so that would help. Hi, baby girl. See her? She's stuck to my side. Yeah, you'll notice I'm gonna stop giving her so much love. I'm gonna stop baby talking to her. You really should never baby talk to a dog, but in my opinion, I mean, it's okay once in a while, but to a puppy that's showing signs of codependency, I think I'm just gonna, you know, treat her like an adult dog. I'm just gonna treat her like an adult dog and show her what's expected, and, you know, that she's fine. She doesn't need to be coddled. It's hard to do. It's extremely hard to do, because by nature I'm a nurturer. It's part of why I went into medicine. I'm just a nurturer, you know, and it's my instinct to nurture and to coddle and all that. So it can be a bad trait to have with a dominant breed. That, I mean, it can be. I have to resist the urge to do that. But that, to me, is kind of how the alpha is of a dog pack, or the pack leader. That's kind of, and I see that in Ozzy. Ozzy doesn't show affection all the time. We learn from nature, and I think nature's the best teacher. If you just watch how a pack naturally is, the dynamic of a pack, that's what Ozzy does. You'll notice that. Notice immediately a puppy in a pack interacting with the alpha. The alpha just kind of acts like that puppy either just is not part of the pack, or he doesn't show him any attention, and he'll even go as far as to growl at the puppy if the puppy even gets near him. And it seems rude and like, oh, how come you're not welcoming this puppy, you know? And because the alpha needs that leverage, and same thing, you know, with the human dynamic. So it's that much more powerful when you do get praise. And so Ozzy, you know, occasionally will play with the younger dogs, but they respect him. They want to be in his favor. They want to be in that person's favor, or in that dog's favor. So that's kind of the thinking of why I shouldn't be constantly coddling the puppy and praising the puppy and, you know, petting her all the time. Because then I kind of lose my leverage, you know. So I want her to work for my praise. And that's the underlying strategy is for being like that, is that the dog has to work for your affection, and then that way your affection is a powerful tool. So you can praise when they do something good, and they'll know immediately, oh, that's the behavior they want. And because if you're constantly praising, then they're like, and they do something good, they don't know that was the behavior that they want, because everything they do gets praised, you know. Oh man, y'all, I realize like it's more challenging for me to articulate my thoughts when I'm sick, It's like my head is kind of fuzzy. Hey, Papa. So sorry for all my rambling. It's not the best commentary. It's not the best commentary right now. But anyways, yeah, look at her. Chewing on those sugarberry. They love that tree. I wish the branches were a little bit more in their reach. Hey, there's my tux. Oh, real quick. A lot of y'all, or a few of y'all, have commented from the last episode that I posted yesterday, where I gave the dogs a trachea. It's just a dehydrated, beef trachea. It's real crispy, and it's actually good for them because it's got collagen and stuff, good for the joints. And so in that episode, I gave them all except Tux. I gave one to everyone except Tux. Well, at the time, Tux was curled up on the couch. And the reason I didn't give Tux one, because people were like, hey, you forgot Tux. Well, so Tux, when he's in that position on the couch, several times I've had the same scenario where I'll break him off a piece of trachea and offer it to him, and he'll just look at me and he'll just leave it there. So, and then it's just like kind of wasted, and what ends up happening is another dog will go grab it, and then and they're having more than I wanted them to have. And so unless Tux is like sitting at my foot and asking for a treat, I usually don't give him one. So because it ends up just being wasted, or someone gets double. Then so also, he is a little overweight, so if he wasn't overweight, I might still offer him one. But if he's not asking for one, I'm not gonna offer one. Which brings circle back around. This is still related to the topic of this video. A pack of dogs is not a democracy, as much as humans, like to anthropomorphize, and humans like to throw their emotions on the dogs. But dogs, they communicate differently. Their dynamic is much different than humans in today's day and age anyway. It's not a democracy. One way the alpha shows its dominance, and to remind the pack members that, hey, I'm alpha of this pack, I'm to be respected. So one way they do that is they'll go take a treat from another dog. They'll walk up to another dog and just take whatever's in its mouth. And it's just a show of, I can do that. So he's just reinforcing that, there should be no competition between me because I'm the alpha. Ozzy's like, that's right. Tell him. That's how it is. And so it's not a democracy. Some people don't believe in the alpha theory, but I believe in it. I believe that there's evidence of it in wolf packs. And that's kind of how I raise my pack, with that philosophy in mind. And so, so me not giving Tux a treat is okay. And I actually do have some videos, and I do it occasionally as well. I will use that as well. Like a lot of times to puppies, just to kind of ingrain in the puppy that I'm the pack leader. I'll just take a treat from the puppy. And you know what? The puppy looks at me as if, oh, okay. They don't look like, oh, why'd you take that from me? They understand immediately what I'm doing. Oh, okay, that's yours now. Yep, you can have it. Because you're the pack leader. So yeah, very, very interesting when dealing with dogs. They have their own psychology. They have, and I'm still learning. But the best way to learn is from them. The natural hierarchy, the natural dynamic of a pack. If you study it, and you can actually emulate it. That's why, and I learned this from Rachel on Sins a Tempo. That's why she does this mouth bite when she's correcting a dog. For example, a dog that's, trying to show dominance when it doesn't need to be. She'll roll it over on the side and hold the muzzle down without blocking the airway, of course, but hold it down and do this simulated mouth bite, because that's what the alpha dog will do. They'll do a mouth bite. You've seen Ozzy do that a lot of times too if you watch this channel. If you watch closely, when Lucia gets in Ozzy's muzzle when she's not supposed to, and she starts licking his face and it's disrespectful, he will do a mouth bite to her. It looks like he's biting her. He'll growl really loud at her, and he'll, clamp his teeth around her muzzle. But he's doing a mouth bite. And they don't always draw blood. Alpha dog won't usually doesn't draw blood, but they might, depending on the severity of the correction. They won't severely injure a dog, of course. It's amazing to watch the restraint that they can have. For as severe as it sounds, you would think that he's gonna kill that dog, but it's all just sound, and it's a very gentle mouth bite. Firm, but not aggressive, overly aggressive. But yeah, so that's just one example of how you can learn to interact with your pack. As the pack leader, is watch what the alpha dog will do. So yeah, Tux is fine. He survived the not getting the chew toy. It's not a democracy. I don't try to be a jerk or anything, but the thing about a pack is, the whole philosophy in my mind is that, I understand it a little too, because it's very much the way that the military is. The military is not a democracy. The military structure is definitely not a democracy. It's actually run very similarly to a wolf pack, where you have an alpha, the commander. In any military organization, you have the general that oversees everything. Then each unit has, depending on what unit you're talking about, a smaller unit or a larger unit. Like a brigade usually has either a colonel or a light general, lieutenant general, depending on how big it is. Or a company will have a captain as the commander. So that's the alpha. That's the alpha dog. In a company, army company structure, you'll have a captain, and the captain's not going to be like, okay, we're going to go invade this space, or we're going to go set up the perimeter. Now, who wants to run the wire? Who wants to run the communication? It's not like that. Everybody take a vote. Who wants to do it? No, the commander says, you're going to go do this. And I want you to go run the wire. I want you to stand guard while we're setting up the camp. And the commander has to have that. Now in the military, of course, that they're just, trained that that's the structure, and people know that. But with canines, the canine communication has to be shown. The alpha has to come and take the bone from the lower ranking dog to show them, and if the lower ranking dog resists, the alpha will physically show him, you can't resist me because I'm the alpha dog. So yeah, very much run like the military. The military is very much run like a pack. And so the whole philosophy is that, the reasoning behind that is because in the time of battle, where you have, like, say now they set up camp, military unit set up camp, and they got attacked. The opposition force came and attacked them. You can't have a democracy and say, well, who wants to go on the front line and who wants to stand guard back here? Everybody raise your hand. We'll take a vote. No, they have to have extreme control of, very tight control of what's going to happen in that instant. And that comes from the alpha dog. That comes from the captain. That comes from the general. They receive their marching orders from the leader of the unit, the leader of the pack. That's who has the marching orders, and that's how they can quickly execute the mission. And it's just basic, But human tends to not be used to that because we live in a so-called, democracy, especially in the United States. Not every country has a democracy, but and I think those countries that don't have a democracy, they tend to understand animal language better. That's just my observation. I don't know if that's true, but yeah, we're too soft here in the United States, and democracy is good, I think, but animals are not humans. I try to resist my tendency to anthropomorphize and and see the animals as humans. They're not. And the thing is, another reason why there has to be an alpha dog and it can't be a democracy is because they're very powerful animals. They're lethal. They're like lethal weapons, and so you have to have. And same with the military. Military members are armed when they go into battle. You can't have someone trying to rise up in the ranks because they're armed. They could be very dangerous, and so you have to have a very tight order with any kind of unit like that, like a dog pack, a military unit, where you have lethal force involved. The dog itself is a lethal force, so you have to have tight control of that. And that's why the alpha dog is so important to control that. The alpha dog controls the energy of the pack. So, for example, it's volatile. If you have a military unit, they all got M16s on their backs, and there's grenades and there's live fire. There's the weapons room. You don't want a bunch of drunk soldiers or fights, brawls and stuff like that around the grenade room. There's restrictions. Only certain people are allowed in the grenade room, in the arms room. Only certain people. And so only certain people are in control of the armory. And that's usually a higher ranking member. And so same, with the dogs. You have a volatile situation. The alpha has to control, and the other pack members, the higher ranking pack members, they control the energy of the pack. Because they in themselves, the dogs in themselves, are volatile, potentially volatile weapons. And so they put the safety. So perfect example is when Dolce comes to correct Lucia, and she does it often because Lucia's flinging her body around and acting too excited. It's like a gun with the safety taken off. So what Dolce is doing, she's doing mouth bites, and she's putting Lucia, she's standing over Lucia, putting her in submissive posture. She's putting the safety on that weapon. She's putting the safety back on. Because the energy can spread very quickly. So if you can imagine Lucia's energy spreading to the other dogs, and you got a bunch of these 100+ pound muscular dominant dogs, just extremely excitable. It's just like lighting a cannon almost, it's like setting fire to dynamite. It's very unstable. So alpha keeps the stability of the pack, and ultimately the pack leader. The pack leader is like the general, oversees everything, and then the alpha dog is like the colonel, or the captain of the smaller unit. And they take the marching orders from the general, and then the alpha dog will enforce those within the lower ranking members, enforce those orders. So very interesting, very cool. I love Lucia. She's drinking that rainwater. Come here, baby. Lucia, come. I love observing that and studying that because I see so many similarities to military structure, and it works. It's it's tried and true. Well, anyways, this is extremely long, this video, y'all. So I'll end it here and hope y'all having a good day, and we'll see you on the next one. She's doing her pounce. Gypsy.